This is real estate coach Craig Proctor. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Hey, here's what's on my mind. You work so hard to generate the lead, and then you lose the business to another realtor. Very frustrating, right? Follow-up is the Achilles heel for realtors, and we're going to talk about how to solve that problem. So I am real estate coach Craig Proctor. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today we're going to talk about how to stop losing business to other realtors because of lack of follow-up. Honestly, it is the number one reason we lose business to other realtors is because we just don't have a solid follow-up system. So I made that mistake earlier in my career. I'm going to show you today how I fix that problem. So how many of you would, first of all, agree that the problem with follow-up is it really comes down to the unpredictability of prospect timing? You know, you talk to them and they tell you one thing and they do something else. And what a wonderful world it would be if everyone we talked to, if every buyer or seller that we spoke to said, "Oh, I'm ready to buy or sell today." You know, if that was true, if every buyer or seller we spoke to said, "Oh, I'm ready to go right now. Come and get me. Come and list my house. I'm ready to buy a house. Let's start looking at properties," we wouldn't need a follow-up system. But I think you folks know the truth is the opposite. Okay, the truth is the opposite. The vast majority of buyers and sellers that we speak to every day are not ready to act now. They're several weeks or months or years, or some of them are never going to do anything. But the majority of the prospects that we're following up with are not ready to act now. So that's why we have to have an awesome follow-up system. And again, this is the Achilles heel for most realtors. Most realtors do not have a very good follow-up system. So I've taken some notes here, and we're going to go through these here today. I've also got a handout for you that will show you how to get. It's called 3 Objections That You're Not Handling Right Now. So I'll lay it out for you, see if this makes sense, and we can help you convert more business this year. So generating leads is, I found, actually the easy part. Now, it might not be for you right now. You might be thinking, well, generating leads isn't the easy part for me. Trust me, I can help you with this. Generating the leads, getting the buyers and sellers to come to you is the secret. So, don't be cold calling and door knocking and chasing FSBOs and expireds. Replace that old school stuff with smart, modern marketing. So once you understand what it is that buyers and sellers want, you can offer that to them to get buyers and sellers to come to you. That is the easy thing. I can easily teach you how to do that once you understand how direct response marketing works. Then we have to follow up with the prospects, okay? We have 3 categories of prospects, right? We've got now business, which is easy because we don't have to follow up. You just need to be able to articulate an awesome offer so the buyers and sellers want to meet with you now because they're ready now. Then you've got future prospects, right? You've got prospects that are 2 weeks or 2 months down the road or whatever. And we're going to talk today about how to plug those holes in your business and do a much better job following up with the future prospects. And then, of course, we have prospects that really aren't prospects at all. Once we speak with them and we determine that they're not really motivated or they don't have plans to do anything for 4 or 5 years, so we're not going to try to get an appointment with someone like that. And that's a key point right there. Don't try to book an appointment just because you can. I know a lot of sales trainers teach you that, but I want you to operate in abundance. I want to teach you how to generate so many buyer and seller leads that you have the luxury of choice. That's how you're going to make a lot of money in real estate. Is imagine if you had more buyers or sellers than you could possibly work with. You could heavily qualify them and only spend your time meeting with the buyers and sellers that are the most motivated, the most sincere, the most ready to act. Buyers that will not fight you through the transaction, buyers and sellers that are a joy to work with. That's how you make a lot of money in real estate. So we've got to get you, that's a topic for another day, the lead generation part of it. But trust me on this, it's the easiest part to get right. Okay, once you get it, you'll never go back to the old way of generating leads. What I want to cover here now is when the leads are coming in, if you can get 100% of the buyers and sellers contacting you, first of all, you've got much better positioning, right? Because they're chasing you, you're not chasing them. So in this instance, you're simply returning an inquiry that the prospects made of you, right? They're calling you and they're requesting information that you're offering that they want. So we're going to teach you a script that you can use here today to make it clear that they called you. You're going to ask the buyers and sellers a series of questions which will enable you to determine the two most important things that you want to know about any prospect. Okay, now the two most important things that you want to know about any buyer or seller prospect, thing number one is, what is their motivation, right? If they're not motivated, we don't want to meet with them. And thing number two is, what is their timing? Because they could be motivated to buy or sell, but if it's a year or two down the road, I've got so many prospects coming in, I'm not going to probably follow up with somebody that's 2 years out. I got enough that are going to do something here in the next few weeks or the next few months. So we're going to ask a series of questions. The script that I created is called a universal callback script. It took me about 10 years to figure this out because, like many of you, I didn't know what I was doing when I started, right? I made the mistake of spending 15 or 20 minutes on the phone with each prospect. And what's the problem with that? 20 minutes on the phone with each prospect, you can only speak to 3 prospects in an hour. You're not going to get rich selling real estate speaking to 3 people in an hour. So I had to tighten up my script. I had to really focus on what is it that I want to accomplish at the end of this conversation with the buyers and sellers. See, up until then, I'm talking to them for 20 minutes. I thought it was about building a relationship, building rapport. I might know, how many kids they had. I might know the name of their dog. But I got off the phone after 20 minutes or half an hour, and I did not know the timing and motivation, which, as I've said, is the two most important things that you want to know. So I've shortened this script down for you. So it takes you about 3 minutes. That's it. Now remember, you've got to stick to the script. It's almost like the prospect's job is to pull you away, right? They want to say, oh, how long have you lived here in the area? Or how many kids do you have, Craig? I always want to politely answer their question and pull them back to the script and ask the next question. So we'll go through this script and sort of give you some structure on what this should look like. By the way, type into comments where you're from. Let me know what marketplace you're in because we do get a lot of referrals whenever I go live on Facebook. There are realtors that would prefer to send their clients to other like-minded realtors. And if you're with me here today, that tells all of the rest of the realtors here that you're a professional, that you know what you're doing, that you are always constantly wanting to improve. So let me know, the major marketplace that you're in. Please type that into comments right now. Okay, so for those of you that joined a bit late, we're talking about how to tighten up your follow-up system so you don't lose the prospects to other buyers and sellers. That's very frustrating, right? That's what happened to me earlier in my career. I would generate the lead. I would talk to the buyer or seller. They would tell me, follow up with me in 6 months. And I would, and by then they'd already listed their house. They'd already bought another property. So secret number one is never really just believe what they tell you. If they tell you they're 6 months out, call them back in 3 months. If they tell you 3 months, call them back in, a month and a half. Always call the prospect back in half the time they indicate. In addition to your follow-up calls, you can automate a lot of this. You can have automated emails and text messages, and what you're going to be sending them are things of value. So when you follow up with the prospect, you want to be, furthering their knowledge about you, right? You want to create some authority, some credibility. You want them to kind of like you, know you, and trust you because it'll make it easier to convert those leads. So let's start with the initial phone call. Okay, so let me set it up this way. With the Craig Proctor system, remember, no cold calling, door knocking, sitting in open houses, chasing FSBOs, expireds. You can do that, but with the Craig Proctor system, it's completely unnecessary. We show you inexpensive and modern methods to compel buyers and sellers, real buyers and sellers, to contact you. So you're offering something they want, and that's a conversation for another day. We'll talk about, well, what is it the buyers and sellers want to compel them to come to you? But let's assume that that is true, that we offer buyers and sellers something they want, and they come to you in droves. So now all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I've got all these buyers and sellers. I can't even work with them all. So you need to call them back now. And it's very easy to do this because remember, they've contacted you. So you're simply calling them back using this universal callback script. You can see there's not much to this. And it takes you about 3, maybe 4 minutes on the phone to determine the motivation and timing of the prospect. So this is what it would sound like. Hi, John. This is Craig Proctor with ABC Realty. I received your request for whatever. And the whatever might be, maybe we're offering some advice on how to prepare your home for sale, or how to get the best financing, or how to pass your home inspection, or how to buy your next home when you already own a home. Or maybe we're offering a list of homes in a neighborhood that's of interest to them, or in a price range that's of interest to them. But we're offering things of value. They're contacting us. We're sending out the information, and we're following up. So we've created some reciprocity here. So, hey, John, this is Craig with ABC Realty. The reason I was calling is because I received your request for the information on how to prepare your home to sell it for the most amount of money. Wanted to let you know I've sent that information out, and I wondered if you were thinking about making a move in the next little while. Now, some of them, right off the top, will be very honest and say either, no, I'm not, and as you ask them the other questions, you believe, no, they're not. So just because they requested the information doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a 100% solid prospect. However, many realtors go on sort of the opposite leg. They believe the prospect's not motivated when they really are. Because if you look at the information that I'm offering buyers and sellers, the information that I'm offering in my marketing is really only of interest to real buyers and sellers. Like, I'm not saying 100% of the people that respond are in the market to buy or sell, but it makes sense that if we're offering, say, a report on how to prepare your home for sale to sell it for the highest price, how to avoid mistakes when you're buying a home, how to pass your home inspection, like, who would really request that kind of information if they weren't really in the market to buy or sell? It'd be kind of like me going to the barber shop today, sitting and waiting, and then the barber says next, and I go, oh, I'm not here to get a haircut. The barber knows by virtue of the fact that I'm sitting in the waiting area that I'm there for a haircut. It's sort of the same deal. I want to teach you what to offer buyers and sellers so only real prospects respond. So when they respond, they're calling you. They're usually saying thank you because you're calling to let them know you've received their request. You're sending it out for them. And by the way, you're thinking about making a move. Now, some of them will say yes. Those are the easy ones, right? That's what we want when they say yeah, and they open up and they'll tell you exactly where they're moving to, why they're moving, and when they need to be there. But most of them, honestly, are not going to be straight up like that. Most of them see us as salespeople still, and they're going to say something like, when you ask them if you're making a move, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm just thinking about it, which is completely normal, by the way. I mean, it's the way we respond. Let me know in the comments if this is true. If you were to walk into a retail store, I don't know, say a shoe store, and you're just kind of looking around, if a salesperson pounced on you right away as soon as you walked into the shoe store and said, can I help you? You might say to the salesperson, oh, I'm just looking, right? Because you don't want the salesperson on your back, right? You might just say, I'm just looking around. That doesn't make you a bad prospect, by the way, right? It just means you want to look around. So it's the same thing when we ask a buyer or seller, are you planning on making a move? They see us as the salesperson, and kind of their knee-jerk natural response is, no, thank you, I'm just looking, much like you and I would say to the salesperson in the store. But remember, in the retail store, a few minutes later, you're at cash with a new pair of shoes. right? You just said to the salesperson, no, I'm just looking. It's kind of the same thing in real estate. So I made a lot of money following up with prospects that said, well, we're not sure. We're just thinking about it. We just saw the information. That's why I have all these other probing questions in the universal callback script, right? The first question is, are you folks planning on making a move? Then I follow it up with, if you were to move, would you stay local or would you move out of the area? Now, I'll tell you why this works. Most people, frankly, they're not very good liars, right? Like if you walked into the shoe store and instead of the salesperson saying, hey, may I help you? Which you already have well-rehearsed your responses. No, thank you, I'm just looking. What if the salesperson in the shoe store had have said to you, hey, have you been in this store before? It would freak you out, right? Because you don't have like a pat, well-rehearsed response to that. So it's the same thing here. Most buyers and sellers aren't very good liars. So when I say, are you planning on making a move? I don't know. We're not sure. We're just thinking about it. And then I come back with, well, if you were to move, would you stay local or move out of the area? Well, I guess if we were to move, we would move closer to work, right? Or no, we'd want to stay in the area because we want to keep our kids in the same school. Great. So now all we have to do is follow along the script. So the next question I ask them is, well, if you were to move, when do you think that might be? Now, notice that's almost the same as the first question. Are you thinking of making a move? Then a bit of a change-up ball. If you were to move, would you be staying local or moving out of the area? Then I come right back with, and if you were to do this, hypothetically, if you were to do this, when do you think that might be? I'm always shocked by the fact that they give me a different answer. Some of them give you a different answer. Okay, they're not being straight up with me, but I get it. They don't know me. They see me as a salesperson. Now, I'm going to ask them next whether they own a home or they're currently renting. Now, if they are currently renting, I know they don't have a house to sell, and I know I'm going to make my buyer offer. So we'll get to the offer that you need to make in a minute, but you got to have a good offer, right? If we're offering the same stuff that all the other real estate agents are offering to buyers, or if we're offering the buyer the same things that they believe they can do on their own, like sending them houses, they're not going to have any interest in meeting with us. But in this case, when I ask the prospect, are you own a house? Yes, I do. Would you prefer to buy first or sell first? If they say I want to sell first, there would be no purpose in me articulating my buyer offer. Okay, I wouldn't be pitching my buyer offer because the prospects told me how to sell them. Do you see that? It took me a long time to figure that out, folks. I didn't ask that very important question. Do you own a house? And do you prefer to buy first or sell first? If you ask the question, the prospect will actually tell you how to sell them. So I wasn't asking that question. Do you own a house? And would you prefer to buy first or sell first? So I might try to force a listing appointment. And the prospect, that's not where their head's at. The prospect's like, well, I would never list my home in this marketplace because I know my house would sell overnight and I have nowhere to go, right? So if they say I'd rather buy first, now I can make them an offer that's of interest to them. So we're always wanting the prospect to tell us which offer to make, our buyer offer or our seller offer. And again, if they're a renter, you don't have to worry about the seller offer because they're straight buyers. Now, let's talk about this offer. So what do I know? Oh, here's another question I ask, of course, is do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Don't be too easy to, I'm a hockey fan, so one of the sayings I like is don't be too easy to push off the puck. A hockey player shouldn't be easy to push off the puck. Realtors, we shouldn't be too easy to push off the puck. When we ask this question, do you have a realtor to help you? Sometimes they say, well, yeah, I'm talking to the realtor that sold me this place, or my cousin's a realtor. Go a bit deeper here. That doesn't mean they're 100% committed. I'm going to ask them, are you 100% committed to that realtor? Because there's a tremendous difference between real estate agents and what they do and how much they charge to get the job done. Do you think you might be open to meeting with me as well? I'm not saying instead of their best friend or Uncle Joe. I'm saying, do you think you would be open to meeting with me as well? That gets them thinking, right? Because every prospect would agree, well, yeah, I guess there is a tremendous difference between real estate agents and what they do and how much they charge to get the job done. Yeah, I guess we'd be open. They're either going to be open to me, right, meeting with me, or they might shut me down and say, no, no matter what you charged or what you did, we're going to list our house with Uncle Joe. That tells my brain, politely get off the phone. Right? There's no use spending any more time with this prospect if I've already determined that they're not motivated. Let's talk about that. They're not motivated. Get off the phone. If they're not motivated, if you believe they're not motivated, or they say my timing is 5 years from now, get off the phone politely, not be rude, but get off the phone and get on the phone with another one of these dozens of buyers and sellers. Remember, they've contacted you on their own volition. You don't need to be messing around trying to motivate people that aren't motivated. And besides, despite what other sales trainers might tell you, that's impossible. How many of you would agree? Let me know in the comments if you believe no matter what you do or say, you can't motivate someone that's not motivated. I don't care if you've got a silver tongue. No matter what you do or say, you're not going to motivate someone that's not motivated. That is not the purpose of the universal callback script. The purpose of the universal callback script is to determine whether they are motivated. It's not to try to motivate them. Think about yourself. If a real estate agent called you and you're a prospect and they called you and you didn't want to sell your house, is there anything that the realtor could say to you to convince you to want to sell your house if you don't want to sell your home? No, especially in this market. They could tell you I could get you 120% of what your house is worth, and you wouldn't sell your house because you've got nowhere to go. You'd have to find another home first. Okay, so heavily qualify them. This can be done in 3 minutes or less. Now you're going to know the timing. You're going to know the motivation. You know whether they own a house or whether they're renting. You know whether they have a realtor that they're 100% committed to or not. I am interviewing the prospect. Do you see that? I'm interviewing it. I have flipped this around. Instead of them interviewing me, in 3 or 4 minutes, I've asked them a bunch of questions, and now I know all this information. I know where they're moving to. I know why. I know whether they have a realtor, whether they own a house, whether they're renting. I know whether they want to buy first or sell first. So let's say that they want to buy first. If they want to buy first, here's what we don't want to do. We don't want a lame offer. Okay, this all comes down to your offer now. Believe me, you can still blow it, right? You've determined, oh my God, this is a prospect that maybe they own a house, but they want to buy first. How do I know that? They told me. They told me they own, and they told me they want to buy first. They don't have another realtor. It looks like their timing is now. I don't want to blow it. But here's how you would blow it. By making a lame, weak offer. Don't be offering the buyer stuff that they can do on their own. So if your big offer to the buyer is, would you like to get together with me? Like I can send you properties that are on MLS. The buyer's like, well, I can do that myself. I can literally sit on my couch and I can get the same information that you can get. So nothing unique. Also, all the other realtors are offering daily emails of what's on MLS. And as we know right now, the problem is there's hardly anything on the marketplace. So what are you going to offer? You want to offer what they can't get on their own and what they can't get from any other realtor. So what I talk about is my VIP buyer service. You simply tell me what you're looking for, the price range, the neighborhood, the style of the house, and we'll use our specific target marketing, and we will market to that neighborhood, and we'll find you both homes that are on the market, but more likely homes that are not listed yet. That's right. We will market what you're looking for as a buyer. We'll market you, the buyer, to the seller. It's kind of opposite world, right? Normally, what we do is we advertise the house to find the buyer. But what I'm suggesting to the buyer is if you work with me, I'll advertise you. I'll advertise what you're looking for in the neighborhood that you're looking for, and I will find you somebody that wants to sell their home. Now, remember, these are not pocket listings because I'm not listing the property. I'm simply going to direct mail that neighborhood saying, I've got this buyer looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-story home in this price range. If you own a home like that, you're thinking of selling, you've got a cash offer, they've been pre-qualified for financing. If I send that out to 500 homes, I'm going to get 3 or 4 sellers to respond. I'll meet with the sellers, make sure that they're realistic with price and that this house is a match to my buyer, and boom, I am now offering the buyer what they can't get anywhere else. They can't get this on Zillow. They can't get this from any other realtor. Now they're willing to meet with me. When I have what they want, they're willing to meet with me, and now I'm going to sign them to what I call my VIP buyer agreement. Okay, this is agreement where I say, look, you tell me what you're looking for, and I'm going to go out there and find it. My service costs you nothing, right? You're never under any obligation to buy a home, but I'm going to find you one. If I don't find you one, I don't get paid. And if I don't find you a home, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're not going to list your other house. Right? That's the problem we have in the marketplace right now. The sellers are not going to list their house until we can find them another home. So if you want to get listings, the easiest way to get listings is to get the seller to respond first as a buyer. Now, you offer that and buyers are interested. Now, I'll show you in another lesson here. We'll show you how to get properties that other agents and other buyers don't know about. Now remember, these are not pocket listings. It's not like I'm listing the property and holding it back from MLS. We're not listing any, we don't have any listings. That's our problem. This is what buyers want. Okay. And when you find the buyer house, they're going to list. Now, let's say let's say this prospect answered the question of, do you want to buy first or sell first, in a different way. Instead of saying, I want to buy first, what if the prospect says, well, actually, I'd rather sell first. I'd rather get my home sold, know how much money I'm going to get for my house, know the closing date, know when I'm getting the money, and then I'll go out and get excited about another house, right? Or maybe they're not going to buy. Maybe they're going to rent, or they've been transferred across the country. If they tell you they want to sell first, what is your seller offer? What is your offer to sellers? Okay, again, you don't want to make a lame offer to sellers. What's a lame offer? Okay, what would be typical? Gee, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I could give you a free market evaluation. Okay, a couple problems. That's what all the other realtors are offering, a free market evaluation. They can get that from any other agent. Also, the seller today says, I'm good because I already have that information. The seller today can find out on their own about the homes in their neighborhood that have sold. They can get that information on what the other properties are in their neighborhood are listed for, right? They can get all kinds of information. So if your big offer to sellers is, I'll tell you what you already know, or I'll tell you what you can get from any other agent, you're not going to have a lot of success. So what is it that we could offer sellers today to set ourselves apart? Okay, you could do this. You could say, look, not only will I create an area home sales report for you that lists all the most comparable home sales and the homes that are currently for sale, but more than that, I'll have a look at your house. I'll give you tips on what to do and what not to do to prepare it for sale. And we can go through a net sheet. So you'll discover what you're going to net in your pocket after all the associated costs in selling your home. Now that they don't know, right? That they don't know, they don't know where to get it. No other agent is offering that, but it's important. The most important number to the seller is what they're going to net in their pocket after all the expenses. Let me know in the comments if this is making sense. Are you finding this extremely helpful? Maybe smash the blue thumbs up button if this is something you're interested in. And remember to like this page and turn on notifications so you get all my content going forward. Okay, so we're talking about the offers here. With the seller, you're going to offer, hey, we can send you all the same information on what's for sale and what's sold. But more than that, we're going to dig a bit deeper. We're going to look at your house. We'll go through a net sheet, help you discover what you're going to net in your pocket, because that's the most important point to you. Also, here's another question. How many of you, honestly in your heart, you believe that if the seller would let you into their house and you were to look around at their house, especially in this crazy market, that you could probably give the seller some inexpensive ideas, some tips on what to do to prepare their home for sale to sell it for more money, right? How many of you think that you could maybe give them some advice on, okay, paint this bedroom maybe like a more neutral color, move the furniture around a bit, if it's the summertime, maybe some landscaping, just some simple things that they could do to prepare their home for sale. How many of you, let me know in the comments, if you believe with what you know in your head, your experience, you could help the seller sell their home for another $5,000 or $10,000 with just the expertise that you have on inexpensive things that they could do. Why are we not telling them that? This is part of your offer. So what's it sound like? I'm going to prepare an area home sales report, including all the homes that are most comparable to you that have sold, the homes that are currently listed. When I look at your home, we can talk about all the associated costs in selling your home. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you'll know the most important number is what you're going to net in your pocket after your home is sold. And, I've been at this for X amount of years. I will give you my advice on inexpensive things that you can do to prepare your home for sale to sell your house for an additional $10,000. Easy things like clean the carpets, maybe painting some of the rooms neutral, some landscaping, moving the furniture around. That is your offer. Now, if you do this, sellers will say yes. Now, I've taught you now how to, we've talked about how to get the buyers and sellers contacting you, okay? We talked about that in principle. I will teach you that in another lesson, but we've talked about what to do when you're following up with them, what to say on the phone, okay? How to qualify them, how to determine whether they're now business, future business, or no business at all. If they're no business at all, get off the phone, okay? You should be able to go through this process, this script, in 3 or 4 minutes. When you're really good, 3 minutes, that's even with an appointment. I was able to get on and off the phone with a listing appointment or a buyer appointment in about 3 minutes. Well, guess what? In an hour, if I was able to churn out call after call, potentially I could talk to 20 prospects every hour. That is how I became the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world, getting buyers and sellers to contact me, quickly being able to determine their motivation and timing, and then having a really great offer, an offer that buyers and sellers really wanted, so they would agree to meet with me. And when they met with me, then I had to figure out my listing presentation and my buyer presentation, because you can still blow it then, right? You can generate the lead, you can qualify them, set the appointment, and if you've got a weak presentation, still could blow it. So these are all of the different components I teach inside the Craig Proctor world. Now, if you guys would like to get this free report on 3 phone objections that you're not handling, all you have to do is type into the comments below, type in the words free report. Again, free report. I don't know how many pages we have here. I'll show it to you here. But this is free, just good information to help you out. I hope you guys are liking this. 3 objections you're not handling, and we go through all the objections. Okay, we teach you exactly what to say and what to do so you convert more leads. Right? There's only a few objections. We hear them over and over again, so I'm just going to give them to you and show you how to handle them. I also have a private Facebook group. I know many of you are in it. It's Rich Agent Secrets. And if you would like to be invited, if you like this stuff, you should be inside my private Facebook group. Inside my private Facebook group, I have 5,000, we're over 5,000 top realtors who are sharing how they use the Craig Proctor system, how they're making money, how they're recruiting and growing their team. Type into the comments below, Rich Agent Secret, Rich Agent Secrets, and I will get you an invitation to my private Facebook group. And if you like this today, you can actually book a call. We call it a free breakthrough call where we'll talk to you about how you can improve your business. This was free. Having a call with me and my team is free as well. If someone could type into the comments below, Proctor call. Okay, so my name, proctorcall.com, proctorcall.com. If someone can type that into the comments below, it's a clickable link, and this is my gift to you. If you like this, if you think, you know what, I like what Craig says, it makes sense, this is resonating with me, why not book a free breakthrough call? It's not a big sales pitch. Let me show you how this would work. I would ask you a bunch of questions about where you are in your business and where you want to go, and we would talk about some of the reasons why you're not already doing the thing that you want to do, right? Makes sense. If you know where you are and you know where you want to go, my question is, why aren't you already doing it? If you're at 20 transactions and you want to do 50, well, why are you not already doing 50? And the answer is because there's something that's holding you back. There's some kind of obstacle. So I would give you my advice on here's what I would do if I was you to get from where you are to where it is that you want to go. I want to teach you smart, modern marketing. What I teach makes sense. And do you want to know why it makes sense? Because I'm like you. I'm a realtor in the trenches for over 25 years. And I'm not a failed realtor. I was the number one RE/MAX agent in the world within 3 years of having my license. And I was one of the top RE/MAX agents in the world for the next 20 years. I have taught thousands of real estate agents how to make more money and have a better life in real estate. It's not just the money you make. What about your lifestyle? You want both, right? You want money and you want lifestyle, which means you have to have time. You have to have the money and the time to have the freedom. You can't get that by doing what everyone else is doing. I want to thank you so much for being with us here today. If you like this, give me the thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you found this extremely valuable. And make sure you share this with other realtors. If maybe you might want to share this with your broker or share this with other realtors in your office who you think might benefit from what we talked about here today. So go use this stuff. Go implement. I hope you enjoyed this. Take what we've covered here today, download that report, and start to implement this. And we'll see you next time when we go live here on Facebook. So thank you so much for being here. Again, it's proctorcall.com. Book a call with me. That's where all good things start, is with a conversation. Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll see you all next time. Take care. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.